there was a young man who came to the monastery with a quiet struggle that many people carry but rarely speak about. He was not lacking in skill, nor in opportunity, yet he felt uncertain about every decision he made. He sat before me and said, "Master, I don't trust myself. I always feel like I might choose the wrong path." I listened carefully, because this is not a small problem. When you cannot trust yourself, even the simplest decisions feel heavy. So I asked him a simple question. "When you walk, do you trust your next step?" He looked confused and said, "Of course." I smiled gently and said, "Then why do you not trust your life in the same way?" The truth is, trust is not something that appears suddenly. Oh, it is something that is built quietly, through experience, through action, and through awareness. When I was younger, I also doubted myself more often. I questioned my decisions. I compared myself to others. I believed that others knew better than I did. So I would wait. I would hesitate. I would delay my actions, hoping for certainty. But certainty never came. One day, my teacher gave me a simple instruction. He asked me to choose a path through the forest and walk it alone. There were many paths. Some were wide and clear. Others were narrow and uncertain. I stood there for a long time, afraid of choosing the wrong one. Eventually, I chose a path, not because I was sure, but because I understood that standing still was also a choice. As I walked, I realized something important. No path reveals itself fully at the beginning. You only understand the path by walking it. Sometimes the road was easy. Sometimes it was difficult. At times I wonder if I had made the wrong decision. But with each step, I learned, I adjusted, I grew, and when I returned, my teacher did not ask if I chose the perfect path. He asked me what I had learned from it. That is when I understood that trusting yourself does not mean always being right. It means being willing to move forward, to learn, and to adapt. Many people are afraid of making mistakes. They believe that one wrong decision will define their entire life. But mistakes are not the opposite of growth. They are part of it. Without mistakes, there is no understanding. Without action, there is no confidence. Trust grows when you act, reflect, and continue. Another reason people struggle to trust themselves is because they listen too much to external noise. Opinions, comparisons, expectations. All of these voices become louder than their own. But your life is not meant to be guided by every voice around you. There is a quiet voice within you that knows what feels right, what feels aligned, what feels meaningful. But this voice is soft. It cannot be heard when your mind is full of noise. That is why stillness is important. When you slow down, when you sit in silence, when you step away from constant distraction, you begin to hear yourself more clearly. In the monastery, we spend time in quiet, not to escape the world, but to understand ourselves better. Because clarity does not come from thinking more. It comes from listening deeply. So if you wish to trust yourself, begin with small decisions. Do not wait for complete certainty. Choose, act, observe, and learn. Each step you take builds a quiet confidence. Over time, that confidence becomes trust, and one day you will realize that you no longer fear the path ahead, because you trust your ability to walk it. So do not wait for perfect clarity. Do not wait for permission. Trust yourself enough to begin, because the path will not show itself until you take the first step.